287-0971 or Rev-Up office numbers are 572-0383 and 572-0215. Rev-Up St. Lucia, the alpha of radio.
Hello there, good morning, good afternoon, good night to our listeners and our viewers in St. Lucia and across the globe, especially those of you on Facebook, also on YouTube and also on X. Welcome to Hard Drive for today, Tuesday, the 13th of May. My name is Andre Paul, the co-host of the show. To my immediate left, none other than the lovely Kina. Kina, good morning to you.
Good morning, Andre. Good morning, Tony Paul, Andre Paul, listeners, viewers on our simulcast on YouTube, on X, and on
also
Facebook.
And also on DBS.
Yeah, I did say DBS.
So let's say good morning to our viewers on DBS. Thanks a lot, for watching us. We certainly do appreciate that. Thank you very much. All right. Tony, good morning.
Good morning, Andre. Good morning, Kina. How is everybody doing?
I'm well.
I'm alive.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm alive.
Yeah.
Up to now.
Yeah.
So, Kina, we know you have some issues, the thing that you're going through. So, how's that coming on?
I'm not sure what's happening. I've gone to the doctor because I just got up one day very feverish and nasally and congested. And I went to the doctor. I got meds and since then, and body pains as well. So I'm not quite sure what's happening. Yeah. So everything I've tried, everything that I've been given, what I was told was happening, it still continues. 2 weeks later.
Okay, well, I guess this doctor knows best. So if they don't, what, are they worried or anything?
No, not yet. No.
All right, okay.
But on a lighter side, a bit later on, I'm going to tell you what happened to me this morning. I think I need new legs.
Yes, I want to hear that story. So, Tony, according to Papa,
what's up the good?
What's up the good?
All is well. It's Tuesday, so it's a lot better. Gosh. By last night, 9-ish, I started to feel like, hey, you gotta go, and that's very unusual. Well,
like
it happens.
When is you gotta go do what?
Go where?
That's such a good question because the go is, we know it as. Yeah. No, I sleep.
Oh,
yeah, sleep.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right,
After 9, so I fought it till about 9:30-ish. Yeah, I fought it like crazy because I was watching a program. You know what I mean? And I'm like, wait a second, I gotta go. I got to go. So I hit the bed maybe minutes to by the time I, organize myself and everything, do the last minute things that you do before you go to bed. It was like maybe 9:45 or 10:50. Yeah.
Okay. So you had a good night's rest, man.
Pretty decent. Yeah, decent. Yeah. So
I love the sound of that. You don't usually hear that coming from you.
I know.
Yeah,
so I'm a little more energized today.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
How about you, Andre?
Yes. You know what happened on Sunday night? I played Sunday night.
Yeah, I remember.
Got home 2:00. I slept for about an hour, and then I came here. So I had to make up for that. That's for sure. So yesterday afternoon, imagine, what was it, after 4:30 going to 5? I finally went on my bed to take a little nap. So I probably slept for about an hour and a half. So, Tony, I was kind of in the same situation like you. So last night about 10-ish,
you going into
I was beginning to feel it.
Okay.
I said, okay.
I went to bed pretty early myself, by 4:30 hours.
As for you.
By 4:30 I was out.
As for you.
That's for me freaky. Because she is, we have conversations and she's telling me, but listen, go home and get some sleep. I tell her, I can't. I'll be feeling sleepy, hit the bed, no sleep.
I did get up a bit later on though, like maybe about after 7 or so.
Let me Google Tony's situation.
Sleep apnea.
let me Google Tony's situation.
Tony, what's your situation?
Okay.
I would be on the chair in front of the TV, and I remember my grandmother said the same thing. Andrea would say to her, I would say to her, I think Dawn would say to her, Mama, just go in and sleep, Mama. She would crash in front of the TV on the chair. Because then she eventually told me, as soon as she hit the bed, all sleep gone.
Oh, okay.
And I've just found that with me. I hit the bed, sleep gone. I'm there, all kind of thoughts.
No, but you watching
Dawn, same thing happens with Dawn too. Yeah,
So
same thing
you're
happens with Dawn.
preoccupied then. Your brain is engaged somewhat.
When I'm on the
Watching
bed.
television.
When I'm watching television, I'm watching and enjoying what I'm watching.
Yeah, that's why you can't sleep, most likely.
No, that's when I sleep.
Oh, really?
Yes, in front of TV, fall
Jeez,
asleep.
me.
You know, you don't. Okay, I doze off.
Some people are that way, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
They
some
just
people
fall
put on the radio or put on music, and I'm thinking, I wonder if that would help. But the thing is, I am so interested in, for example, if music is playing and I'm loving the music, how can I fall asleep? I'm enjoying it. You know what I mean? If I'm watching a television program, but let me just say this to our listeners and viewers on Facebook: if Manchester United is playing any team, I'd be wide awake because I wanna watch the match.
Because you want, yeah.
Exactly. You know, regardless of how tired I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What did you find out? Andre is laughing away. What did you?
He saw a picture of me.
What did?
He saw a picture of me next to sleep apnea.
No, just okay, let me see factors okay, medications. Certain medications can have side effects.
21 medications.
I don't do medications.
Aging is another one.
Oh my word. Andre, you are so bad right now.
That's why he's cracking up. He's cracking up. Ay, ay, ay,
I'm trying to figure
joy.
out why he's laughing.
Joy,
but
joy,
now
joy,
I get
joy.
it.
Ay, ay, ay.
Oh my word.
And that's the other one, substance use. Alcohol.
Well, he's not. Listen, I have never seen him laugh like that. Like, no. So what has you cracking up?
Alcohol.
Aging or alcohol?
Both.
Oh my gosh.
None of them is correct in my case.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And I can talk about it.
Tony drinks, he only drinks on a weekend.
Right.
Just one day. So it's
Right.
not like he drinks throughout the week.
And
no?
Kina, here's to debunk this again. When I'm nice, I get my best sleep. I get my best sleep. I sleep like right through and so on, and I feel good. I mean, like, mostly for me, I sleep between sleep and wake. I am so, it's like, I shouldn't say so alert. Any little sound in the room, cockroach, I hear that. And I'm still supposedly sleeping. Yeah?
At one point in
mean?
time, I used to go to bed really, really late, and I struggled.
I wonder what part made you laugh. The cockroach. When you know a person, you know the person.
I used to be like that at one point. I struggled to fall asleep, and I had to work on it. I actually had to put away my laptop or my phone, turn off the lights, and so on. There was at one point in time I was totally afraid of the dark. Like I could not sleep. If it's dark out, there's no way. Okay. No road check coming in there. Nothing coming in there. Like, no, I want to see everything. You know, you've ever gotten up, right? Something scares you. Maybe you have something on a hanger somewhere, or maybe the curtain and the shadow. Nuh-uh.
Right.
So it happened to me one too many times, and from then on, I decided, you know what? Sometimes you want to get up and you want to use the restroom, and I'm like, nah, too many things have scared me. So I was like, nuh-uh. There's always a nightlight on. But as I got older, I realized, you know what? I really need proper sleep, and I had to turn it off. You know,
our sister Dawn, who's listening. I remember Dawn would be out, right, Tony? Dawn have no problem. She can be in Timbuktu, no problem. The minute she steps foot in the house, she gets scared.
That's right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was happening?
She steps foot in the house.
I could probably tell you, and she could probably say if it's correct.
God bless.
Don't look there for your business.
Because
Just give me a callot right now. A virtual callot.
we would scare her a lot as a kid. Yeah, we tell her, stories like that. Bless, and yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of stuff.
Why would you do that?
Because that's what you do. You play. You
know why?
You fool around with the younger ones.
Because it was done to us.
Exactly. So you just pass it on.
So
Yeah. So you have these
closest
stories.
I got to that, I think one of my siblings said there was something under my bed, right? And they actually put I think it was a crab.
Mm.
Let me tell you. And I'm hearing the crab walking,
And for real,
they actually put a crab under my bed. Let me tell
you
you.
see what I'm saying? Yeah.
The things y'all do.
No, we didn't do that. We didn't go that far.
A crab.
You know what I mean?
To this day, I'm terrified of crabs.
Ah.
Not me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to eat it. I do not want to see it. I don't want to get close to it. No, man.
Yeah.
No, you imagine putting your feet down. You're about to go to the restroom or go somewhere, and the crab is right there.
A frog.
Oh, God.
A massive frog.
A frog. Frog is associated with you know what, right? That's what they say back in the day.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Don't do like you don't know.
I swear.
You
I don't
had
know.
stories of Laja Bless. You don't know about frogs?
No, I don't know about the frog. I'll be honest with you. Here's what I said it, but I didn't say what it was. When I mentioned when I lived in Antigua, they said Dominican people can turn people into crapo. That's if that's what it is, you know what I mean? They can turn you into a frog or some kind of thing
Is
like
it
that.
true though? Can you turn someone into?
No.
That's nonsense. That's nonsense.
That's nonsense.
So the frog thing. I mean, Andrew, do you know of the frog thing like Kina is talking about?
No.
No,
What
when
about
you
the
see a
frog?
frog, it's someone. No, that's what I thought.
Somebody?
growing up. Someone changed and they turned
Become a
into
frog.
Or
I
maybe
wonder
a
if
dog or
that
something.
has to do with.
I actually believe that, Seriously.
I wonder if Andrew, if that has anything to do with. In the song he speaks it, I am I said, but it's not in the original song by Neil Diamond. When Mikey Spice says there was something, a frog that wanted to become one, and then he became one.
Right. The frog that wanted to become a prince or something like that.
And then became one.
Yes.
You know, so
have you
maybe
ever heard the story about a frog that wanted to become a prince?
And then
Yeah,
became
but
one.
even in the sitcoms and the movies, things they change into animals and so on. Where did that come from?
Now that's the thing I hear about Haitian people too. You know
Superstition,
what I
right?
mean? Superstition like crazy.
Yeah.
Man.
Somebody can
It
climb.
started somewhere.
Somebody can climb for a keyhole.
All of that.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? Enter your
Somebody
home.
can play for a clean hole.
Yeah.
For sure.
I've never seen a witch on a broom though.
You know, you fly in that night. Just pop your.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Let's get into other matters. First of all, I think I have a shout out here to let me see. Let me get her full name there. Randa Donai. She's the lady who's, I think, aunt or grandmother, I think, is 104 years old.
Oh.
So that's her niece or something like that. Don't remember exactly all the details. Anyway, so Randa is actually celebrating her birthday today. So Randa Donai of Chozal. Happy birthday to you, Randa. This is coming from your son, Jayshan. Jayshn. Jayshan.
Happy birthday.
So happy birthday, Randa. Have yourself a great day today, Randa Donai of Chozal. Okay? Good. Something else, I think it's very, very important that I read this. Yes, let me make sure I get it right. Here we go. Heartfelt plea for help. Cecil Benjamin. Cecil recently underwent life-saving surgery to have a pacemaker implanted in Martinique, and now she needs continued care and treatment to protect her life and health. How can you help? Donations can be made to her account at the Library Credit Union, Bridge Street, Castries, account number 56619. That's account number 56619 at the Library Credit Union on Bridge Street. Again, account number 56619 under the name Cecile Benjamin. Okay, don't forget the account number at the Library Credit Union, 56619. Okay, so let's hope that Cecile can get the help that she needs.
Definitely.
Because I think part one, she went to Martinique and then had this pacemaker. Yes, so now she has to ensure she does certain follow-ups and so on to ensure that this pacemaker, I guess, wouldn't create any or have any issues.
Right. Let's wish her all the very, very, very best, and that the folks can go and we can go and just drop a few dollars in the account.
Yeah. Those of us who can afford to do that.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Are you looking for a unique way to relax or celebrate? Well, for just $1,000 easy dollars, you can enjoy a full 24-hour private experience aboard the Sagita boat, Dr. JJ's Mangrove in beautiful Marigot Bay. This fully furnished boat is yours to enjoy with your crew, whether you're partying, unwinding, or simply soaking in the view. Perfect for groups of up to 30 to 40 people. Features include kitchen, living room, washroom, and bedrooms. To book or inquire, please call JJ's Paradise at 721-7693. That's 721-7693. We can confirm availability and help you plan your perfect escape. Okay, good stuff. And one more thing, at the Tomaso Bread Place today is stewbacks. Stew turkey, ground provisions, lentils, and tossed salad. All right, so at the Tomaso Bread Place, it's stewbacks today, stew turkeys, ground provisions, lentils, and tossed salad. Why do they call it stew? Why is it a stew?
You're
You're the cook. You guys are the cooks.
Because it's stew backs.
But why stew?
What do you think we should call it?
I don't know. We'll call thing baked chicken and bake this and bake that.
Well, we know it's baked. Yeah.
No, it's baked.
But
Because
why?
it goes in the
going
oven.
to the
So what's the
oven.
Anything that goes to the oven is baked.
It's baked. So once you what? Once you have it anything that's not in the oven is stew.
Not necessarily.
Or
There's-
fry.
There's
Or fry.
fry and there's also barbecue.
So what's the difference between the fry and the stew? What's the difference?
Fry,
What is
you
it
use
that you
oil.
Yes.
Okay.
fry and use oil? So
Yeah.
stew there's no oil?
No.
Some people add a little oil.
To what? To backs?
No, to stew. When you stew, you add your oil because if not, okay, let's try this first and then you the
Kina,
cook.
Kina, they pay special attention to what you say. innit?
Yeah, because she's like, wait a second, you put oil to stew.
They pay special attention.
So you throw a little oil. If you don't, you throw a little oil, and then you put the, let's say, backs. Then you know, you put the backs in the oil, and then you turn it, when it, you know, and gets the heat, and you keep turning, and you know what I mean. Now there's the other part. Maybe that's the other part.
compared to compared to the frying, the stew has much less oil.
A whole lot less oil.
Okay.
Just like I said, a little oil. And sometimes I guess you put a little garlic in the oil, you know, and you just make sure. Andrew, you see if you leave it might fry. jokingly. But you have to turn it. With the stew, Andre, you have to keep stirring it. Like I said, stirring. That's the correct word. You keep stirring it.
But what happens when it runs out of the oil? Or what do you do?
Now,
what do you do?
it also, now that's where she will probably come in. It also drops.
You put oil in stew backs. How I
we
get
come
involved
in,
in that?
No, you will say how you do it. That's the thing. And there's the other side. I could say it too, but no, I want you to say it. So, Andre, as it continues to steam, if you like steam, it releases its own juices.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So under a low fire, right?
Low-ish fire. You know what I mean? It releases its own water and so on, and that makes it nice. And you add, do you add masab? Take it away. Take it away.
What happened was I forgot how to cook since Tony talked about putting
The
oil in the backs. For true?
Go ahead. You want me to say the other way? You just don't put no oil, but you have to keep boil. Make sure you're on top of it, you know, with your gravy browning and so on, or if you burn the sugar and all that. The stew, I can stew. So that's why I can stew.
Okay.
Yeah.
So today, if you want to experience what stew is,
Get
go
it
to
from
the
Tony Paul.
Tomaso
or
Bread
Tomaso
Place.
Bread Place.
Yeah, stew backs, stew turkey, ground provisions, lentils, and tossed salad. Also, don't forget, the sea moss flavors include coconut, ginger, peanut, and peanut punch, and regular sea moss with flaxseed and chia seeds. So some healthy stuff there.
Yeah.
All right. All available at the Tomaso Bread Place. Yes. So
I actually went to look at videos of stew backs.
Roll
Because
with it.
Tony kind of put oil in it. So I'm like, oil. I needed to recalibrate my brain.
Okay.
So, you know, like the real shoebox thing. I don't know about the oil.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well,
yeah.
maybe if you're making gravy browning and they use sugar
Right.
to burn the sugar
put a
with
little oil.
a little bit of oil.
That's fine.
So I understand that aspect to get the browning part. But when I do it, I season my chicken and everything of that sort. And then I put it into a pot.
By itself, with
Yeah.
no oil.
No oil.
That's the thing. Under low-ish fire.
Under lowish fire.
So
And then
makes
it releases its,
own-
natural juices.
That's
and,
the other way.
You know.
When I do that, I do it that way most times. Most times I don't put the oil.
Oh,
but I know
so when you talked about the burning, well, not the burning, the oil, it was you making gravy browning.
No. You
Yeah.
just put a little oil so that, it slides nicely while you're stewing it.
It doesn't get a dare.
And the other part is under very low fire. and then you let it its own water, but of course from time to time you turn it and so on. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm sure one of our listeners and viewers will
have
rearrange
different way of
our
cooking.
ignorance.
So, you know, what works for Tony doesn't work for me. What works for me doesn't work for someone else.
At the end of the
Yes.
day, it's the
goes
taste.
into the mouth.
It's the
The
taste.
taste.
And
The
Right.
taste, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And the
Just-
taste, right?
Just like the orgasm.
Oh, yes.
Where? No comments. TMI. No comments.
It's individuals. The individual.
Yes. We went there this morning. That was a I mean, outside of the box kind of topic.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever heard that topic being discussed. I'm not saying it's not discussed other places. I've never heard it, to be honest with you.
Okay.
So we really stepped outside the box today to go down that road.
Faking an orgasm.
Yeah, boy. Yes. And from what we heard in Shomak, because, you know, Shomak has a lot of female friends. And he says that this is a problem that, well, I shouldn't say a problem. It's maybe happening a lot more often than we
think.
realize. Yes.
Yeah,
One caller spoke about the bruised ego. For some men, the ladies in their life don't want to hurt their feelings.
Right.
Yes. So they just put up with it. Shamak made another good point. He said there are people who have never had an
That's
orgasm,
right. That's
and
right.
they don't even know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look today, a caller was explaining what this quoting thing is all about. Yeah, I thought that was something like real. But from what she said, that's just regular
PUP.
P. You just
Yeah.
PUP. But you see, and that's the danger. And I mentioned that this morning. Just hold your thought for a second, Tony, from watching porn and so on. Because porn takes you into some other world, right? That's not reality. And I guess women watch those things and men watch as well. And it really does a number on you. Because imagine you seeing all those things from watching some pornographic material, and then you expect your lady, right, to do those things as well, to squirt, right? Or you expect certain things from the guy. It really can mess you up, man. But sorry, Tony, you were saying?
Yeah. Of course, I forget. Let's go elsewhere then. Even with the squirting thing that you talk about, Andre, I only learned about that as a grown-up.
Yeah, you know nothing about that. Never heard of
I
that.
know nothing about it. I saw video of that. Somebody sent the video of that to me. I'm like, hey, the woman peeing. I swear, because again, I was I'm talking maybe 8 years ago, max. 8 years ago or so. I see a video of that. Okay, like I said, I was not in the watching porn, and so when the person sent that to me, I'm like, hey, the pee the woman being, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Next thing they tell me, nah, that's squirting. I'm like, squirting? What the hell is that?
It's
you
true.
know, I ain't never seen it. I ain't never experienced it. Nothing. So I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, it's
Andrew,
just
the
like you. Late in life, I learned about this thing.
Andrew, the only thing I think that they did not say between Shamak and Nikki, covering most of it, and the callers, is that the men's ego thing with the faking the orgasm is sometimes just like a jam. If you're not a woman, figure, what the hell, man? You know, if I fake, I come. So for your ego, I fake the come, so you stop banging on me.
That
you know
too,
what I mean?
that too, yeah.
That's the only thing I think
Yes,
they did
yes.
not say.
Yeah,
and I
just-
believe
yeah.
that's part of it as well.
Enough already.
Enough already, man. Come on. You know what I mean? Bang, 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 bang. You know what I mean? Right.
Yeah, boy. So, well, I hope we did a good job of that this morning. I hope so, and that at least we learned something. Yeah, but I think what also stood out, I think our friend Gina spoke about it, and Nikki as well, that there's some women who go through traumatic experiences, like things like rape. Rape is one of them. And other things, some trauma that they experience, maybe somebody abused them as a child,
Yes,
that sort of thing.
yes.
So they carry that with them.
Along with, Nikki said it earlier, Andre, the thought that sex or masturbation and so on is a sin.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
yes,
So you have that in the
yes,
back of your head.
dirty,
It's like,
and you're not relaxed.
Exactly.
You're not relaxed.
Exactly.
Yeah. So of course, I think it's obvious that if you have that problem, if you have that issue, and listen, you know, and you see, it's amazing, huh? We hear ads for fellas all the time.
Hard on
telling you,
plus.
yeah, this kind of thing. Yeah, use this, use that, use the other, right? That's for the fellas, eh? That's for the fellas.
Yes.
So we're getting it left, right, and center. That one is almost taboo. Nobody goes there to say to the ladies, you know, get soft something.
So it can soften you up.
Exactly.
And you'll have...
Exactly. You never, have you ever heard it? Anything like that?
Absolutely not.
I have never heard anything targeting women who have that issue. It's as if that does not even exist. Yeah?
Yeah, and it does exist.
Of course it exists.
Oh, yeah.
A lot more than we
And
seem to think.
You mentioned a name, but that's fine. And I know she doesn't mind. You know, Gina?
No, she's very open.
Gina said Bullfish had 40.
Imagine that.
I was like, what? You experienced the first time? She talk about the headache and so on. Yeah, that I've heard. You know, you feel like your head.
Now, there's some ladies that will tell you, because sometimes you're not sure, and you ask the question, and they tell you, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And they will tell you, well, that's okay.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah,
that's
that's
okay.
true.
You know, yeah, without without making you believe that there is something going on.
Right. And Andre, I thought, well, let me tell you, growing up and experience is great. You know, I thought that was with every woman. Once you are okay, well, I'm okay. Until I got a rude awakening. I gotta have an orgasm. So whatever it takes, you better do it.
Yeah, boy, that's a heck of a thing. We have to laugh, Tony. We have to laugh because all of a sudden now, if we were talking about, let me see, if we were talking about,
okay,
if we're talking about P. Diddy,
Miss, yeah, I don't believe you did that.
Somebody will be all over us.
Oh,
Andrew,
stop.
which
Stop.
is
All over us.
there is
You know,
a story.
The last
How you mean?
10 minutes.
How you
The
mean?
last 10 minutes.
There is the story about the guy who shot. What's the name? I say once you go there, I'm hoping that we do.
Oh, yes, Lins.
I'm just gonna do that.
Yeah, Lins.
Oh, stop.
Go ahead.
Stop, stop.
Lins.
Well, I don't know
Lins.
much about. Well, I've heard it. I've heard.
We're not
women
asking
say-
any questions about that.
Okay, thank you so much. I thought I had to kind of
your
defend
time
myself.
passed already. So,
I didn't have anything to say.
I said, you say Tory Lanez. Hey.
Oh, right, Andrew, right away.
Yeah, Lizzie.
Amazing. When you read the story this
Lizzie.
morning, I'm like, aha.
Yeah. Kina.
As soon as you bring it up, I'm going to do
Kina, yeah.
take over.
Yeah. But for the last
You're so bad.
10 minutes.
But
10 minutes.
was it 10 minutes? It wasn't 10 minutes.
How you know that?
But there's
You-
nothing I
you're
can
not
say
pay-
on
you're
the
not paying
topic.
attention.
Not really.
Yeah. But anyway, just to put a little cover on the thing,
Mm-hmm.
that if we're going through those kinds of issues, whether it's male issues, female issues, go and talk to a counselor.
Yeah.
And I think also, Tony, in all fairness to the relationship, if we are just starting to date and so on, and you know that you have a problem in that area, for both the male and the female, that should be it during the interview.
Yeah.
That you should know, listen, as a male, I'm telling you, I have had this problem for umpteen years. I'm dealing with it. I'm trying to this. Let the person know what they're up against.
What interview
But
are you referring to, Andrew?
you never had an interview? Let me give you the interview. The interview is when the two of you get together
Dating.
and you're talking about starting the relationship.
Yeah, dating and so on.
Yeah.
I'm playing.
Yes.
I know.
Yeah,
Just
you see?
playing.
So during the interview, I think it's important to say those things so the guy knows you have a little issue there. She knows you have a little issue there. But we don't talk about it at all.
I slightly disagree with you.
Okay.
During the interview part and so on.
Mm.
Because remember, this is someone you agree that you're interested in, and she is interested in to a certain extent, or you're interested to a certain extent, until you, again, the interview part where you meet and you talk and you date and you talk and you date. You're getting to know each other, so to speak. That one is too... Okay, let me just get straight
Too
to
early?
the point. Not early, but it's too risque, if you like, for you to talk about that, because the woman might say, wait a second, I ain't going there.
Well, Tony,
That's
beautiful.
one. Not necessarily. Who knows? Maybe she might be the one to solve that problem.
I have to go with Andre on this one.
Yeah, I have to tell
The
you.
earlier you get
You
these
might.
things out of the blocks, the better. The person doesn't have
Excuse
to
me.
just find out later on, maybe months later or years later, that there's a problem.
Yeah.
But he has had let's say it's a guy thing. He has had the problem, but then maybe when meeting you, problem solved, because it's all like all I've ever had.
No, man, Tony.
No.
No,
You know what I
no.
mean?
These-
I'm just saying. I'm just
These
saying.
situations are so deep-seated that you need a professional,
Yeah.
Don't think you as a man can come in and step in it. Let me give you a little story. I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't mind because they made it public. I'm talking about Pastor Phil and his wife. He said when he saw his wife, she's the most beautiful thing he had ever seen in his life. Okay? He said, wow, I'm in love. I have to get to know that person. He said he met her. They were having a good relationship and they got married, right? And he said that not long after the marriage, all of a sudden now, Claire is behaving strangely. Now, Pastor Phil is a counselor. Think of that, right? But she's behaving sorry. He wasn't a counselor at that time. I
No,
think that's what
I was
that's what
thinking.
influenced him. Sorry.
Right.
Let me take that back.
Right.
I'm sorry. So she's beginning to act kind of funny, not in a nice way, strange way, to the point where they almost because of divorce. That's how serious this thing is. And of course now they had to go see a counselor and find out what was the problem there with Claire at that time. And it's a good thing they did it. And I think that inspired him now to get into counseling and so on. They saw the value and the benefit of counseling. So Tony, I do think an ordinary person, right, who doesn't have the skills would be able to handle those deep-seated problems, Tony.
Oh, you all misunderstood what I said.
From childhood, you carrying this with you, right? Or maybe in your teens or whatever, you're going through some traumatic experience. You need a professional to help you that kind of thing.
So even though sometimes, I think we did, to add to what you say, Andre, is that even when some individuals do out of the block say, you know what, I was abused as a child, for some men or women, they're like, oh, okay, let me run. That means you have issues.
Exactly.
So it depends on the individual. If they're mature enough to handle what it is that you've unpacked, and they're ready and they really love you and they're committed to, you know, helping you become a better version of yourself and letting go of that, helping you deal with that trauma.
And do the pass to fill.
Tony,
just quickly, just do the pass to fill. You meet the person, okay, let me see if I can help you. You know what I mean? Let's go counseling. Let's do this. Let's do that. See if it can work. You know.
But I think you're saying,
like Kina said.
I think you're saying don't discuss that. That's what you're saying.
Right. Don't discuss it. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Right. So you can't go say let's go to Pastor Phil.
Yeah. After we're in a relationship, when we're in the relationship,
and then you discover that.
Yeah, you discover
Not
like, oh boy,
will be able
you can
to
still
handle it, though.
right, but you can
everyone
still you just love the person, like Pastor Phil said, is the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. So you love the person and you want to help the person. Now that's not what I was saying initially. I was saying that not the help. It's like, okay, if it's, I think we were talking about a sex issue, right? So you have a problem with either you what are we talking about?
The problem is that when essentially the problem, you're going through some challenge where you cannot have, as a female, an orgasm. Same thing for a male.
Also, we deal with the female.
Experiencing some challenges as it relates to intimacy. I guess we should just put it that way.
It goes both ways, man and woman, what I'm about to say.
Yeah. Anthony, let me just add to what you're saying there. Let's just reverse the roles now. Say the guy has issues with like erectile dysfunction. He has that issue.
That is what I was
Do you think it is fair to the lady, right, not to say that and to wait until you're already in the relationship to bring it out?
Right. So here's what I was saying. When you're with this woman, the most beautiful person you have ever met, maybe that was just a problem with other people. That person, that's exactly what I was saying. That person, all of a sudden you realize, say jam, let's go again. You just finished, let's go again. You're like, whoa, what's going on, man? I thought I had a problem. That's what I was saying.
Okay,
this
I understand
person,
you.
this individual. That's what I was saying. I'm not saying all the time. I'm saying just perhaps sometimes that happens.
Well, again, that's where in the interview one should be honest and say, listen, I had that problem with my ex. I couldn't.
Yeah.
Okay? Right? You make that clear that while you were with your ex, you couldn't have an orgasm as a female. And then let the guy decide now. Let the guy decide whether he'll jump ship or so along with you.
Like, honestly, the more you talk about it, the more I disagree. Honestly.
No, but I have to agree with Andre on that.
No problem.
On a number of things. But this one right there, it's important that you let the individual know what they're signing up for and allow them to make the decision.
I ain't telling you. I ain't telling you nothing. Because it just might be a problem I had with other people. I'm just repeating myself.
You really don't know.
Yeah.
Basically, you just pretty much going into the relationship lying.
Everybody does that.
No.
Everybody does that. You don't say everything when you're dating. Listen, people married for how many years and they don't say everything. But people discovering,
And that's the problem.
That's the problem. The communication is important to open up and be honest.
I'm being very, very real here, folks. It's you just certain things you just don't say.
But certain things, Tony, you need to say. Okay. Let me ask you. You are going to be dating somebody and you are HIV positive. Don't you think it's fair? Don't you think? No, but you don't say anything. Don't you think it's fair to let the person know what they're getting into? By telling the person, listen, I'm HIV positive. I think that's fair. That's fair. You have to do that.
That's not it. I wouldn't even say that's even fair. That's like above board kind of thing.
But you don't. Do you know?
To let the person know. HIV. That's a death.
Hold on.
Okay.
Are you aware that there are people who don't say it?
Well, I suppose so.
Exactly.
Yeah, there are
That's
people.
unfair
Of course, it's unfair.
because you're putting that person's life at risk.
But that's that's a life and death situation.
No, but
Tony-
look at it the other way as well. You get into a relationship, you may have had suffered traumatic events in your life, and you're still dealing with it. You aren't where you want to be, and you meet someone that truly loves you, and you're keeping certain things away from them, and you're hiding it. I know sometimes you're embarrassed, or maybe past experiences would get you to a point where you're not sure who to trust. But sometimes it's important to just say right off the bat, you know what? And if the person truly loves you, they're gonna stay. They're gonna be there. They're gonna support you.
And if they don't truly love you, it's a good person that you
No.
really want to
No,
have in your
no.
life.
No, Tony, but if the person leaves, that shows that they're not really serious. If they really love you and care about you, they want
Andre,
to
we, you, me, Keena,
To me, that's
and
a-
the
that's a good
listeners,
test.
the viewers.
It-
Listen, y'all I could be so in love with you. You tell me something that I figure might, like I have a problem with. You know what I mean? You tell me something that I already have a problem with. It's one of my your 10 commandments, I think you say you have, right? And I hear that, I'm like, oh gosh, no. I could love you how much I love you, it just dies.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Say, for example, you meet a lady.
Honestly,
okay?
just for argument's sake, I'm saying all of this.
You meet a lady, you don't have this discussion. You're finding out from this lady now, no matter how it is, once you see she has her orgasm, she's done. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. She's done. There's nothing you can do to get, and you haven't gotten there as yet. All right?
I've been there.
Oh, okay, well, good.
I can give you stories.
So you cool with that?
Sort of. But again, it comes down to what I have just said. I could probably make you change your mind. Probably. Now, Gina said it right, you know. Gina said, after she said all, she said, certain parts of the body you don't want to be touched. You know, just don't touch me. I just had this madness.
I'm telling you, there's certain ladies that will say, do not touch me. Leave me alone.
I'm saying, she said,
There's nothing.
There are some.
That's what. Right.
3 minutes later, hey, we can go again. Let's go.
But I'm talking about the one that I'm talking about.
Okay.
Right?
Your experience.
Probably. That one telling you it's over. Don't touch me, and she gets angry at you because you want to continue. So don't you think that's something you need to know before? That's the way I am. So you know now you have to win the race.
Well, and then that's another problem again. So I have had, like I said, I've been there. Well, the phrase was this: "Who come first win."
Exactly. Exactly. We need to know. I think that should really, things like that, erectile dysfunction issues, those kinds of issues, things that you've gone through, all this trauma and stuff, especially maybe when things like abuse as a child. Boy, these are serious and deep issues.
Okay. See, again, for discussion, for argument's sake, you know what I mean? Playing devil's advocate and all of that. I'm saying, so just stay by yourself then.
No. What we're saying that you go and get help, and that's what I was saying earlier.
Go and get help.
Yes,
before you
that's
go and try to interfere with somebody.
Yes. So before men and women would hold these things inside,
that's what you're saying,
and not do anything about it.
Okay.
Yeah, because that can ruin a very good relationship.
Exactly.
It can,
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's talk about this latest homicide in Timor that happened on Sunday afternoon about 20 minutes to 6, somewhere around there. A 44-year-old, his last name is Precious, Jeremiah Precious. They said apparently, that's what they're saying, that there was some fight, some altercation. He tried to intervene. Now, I don't know if they intervened, meaning he took a side, because that's a possibility.
Where you heard that?
I read it this morning.
You read it this morning.
He was reportedly stabbed while attempting to separate an altercation. Unless, of course, that information is incorrect.
Okay.
That's what I read.
Okay.
So I'm saying, I don't know if intervening could be taken aside. You know, that you could take aside, or you just generally trying to separate two individuals who you probably figure your partners. And the fellows are so angry at that point in time there that you end up getting hurt. And in his case now, it was fatal. So Tony, I mean, what do? You see two fellas there like a lite, right? And one is brandishing, or both brandishing weapons. What do you do? I mean, Kina was speaking recently about when you know things are happening, you shouldn't just ignore it and try to help out and so. But to me, you see two fellas, Tony, fighting. And one has a a knife or cutlass, or they're both going at each other, do you think, Kina, that's the time for you to come and try and intervene? I mean, at that point there, even if these are your two best friends, to try to intervene at that moment there, to me, boy, I'm sorry, I have to stay away from that.
I would probably try with words only. But to say to go in between and try to separate them and so on, no, that's, you see, the mind, I understand how...
Especially when someone is angry.
Angry, yes, when there's a lot of anger and you have a weapon. You never see them sometimes, Andre, when people separate, even without weapons, right? You go in between. You see, like, they separate and they still fire.
Sometimes you're not
over your head
the target.
You know what
you're
I mean?
trying to get to the person. You just happen to be in the way at the time. And,
so you need to use wisdom.
Yeah, man. I'll try with words first. Gosh, maybe with words, period.
But with someone on the sideline seeing that happen, instincts kick in depending on who is involved. And they would just put themselves in harm's way, not really thinking. All they want to know is just, I want to quell the situation. Maybe I can take my brother or my friend out of the situation, not thinking that it's going to turn deadly.
Only way I think maybe I may intervene is if there are other people around. Right? Maybe I'm saying there are other people around who are trying to intervene. Maybe
As
then.
well.
Oh, then, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Other people who are
trying to hold them
Trying
together,
to
that sort of
hold
thing.
them.
Yeah, okay.
And especially if you know the person, you're close enough that you feel your influence would have some...
Like the aggressor.
Yeah, well, whoever, what is the aggressor, what is the victim, that at that moment there, that you know you have such an influence on that person that you know they wouldn't turn on you, kind of thing.
But anger is a very dangerous thing.
What?
You just never know when someone gets to that point how far they're going to go.
So I don't know, apparently no one probably... Well, I don't know, because I find it strange why the police are asking for information.
Well, they'll always ask for information. That's what they would do, because they have to put together a case.
Nothing. You said it's going to separate some kind of altercation with two people. Andre, nowhere in the news I heard that part.
What did you hear?
The man just got stabbed. That's it. Not, I saw who did it. I was there. Andre, nobody that they interviewed said anything of the sort.
Well, again, remember, I guess at the time there, whoever carried the story first, maybe they spoke to somebody in the community, and that was said, because I know they did interview people in the community, so maybe somebody said that, maybe. But I didn't get the impression as though the police have any idea as to what really happened, at least because they're actually asking for information. But the information could be what you're saying. Kina, you were saying something else a while ago.
Maybe to put together the case. The police will always ask people to come forward with information.
Yeah.
Eyewitness
Because
accounts
generally
and so
you
on.
have stabbing incidents. Generally it happens in the presence of other people. Generally, you have a fight and so on. Yeah, because at that time there you've lost it.
That's what I'm saying, you know, and you're hearing nothing, nothing whatsoever. The man just is stabbed to death, and he's there, and they're saying, well, is a fight, you know, or that person that he was fighting with, Andre, nothing.
Okay. Well, let's hope that the police can make some kind of arrest. But I find generally in St. Lucia, arrests usually follow stabbing incidents. Generally.
Yes, it generally follows.
Is the where you have guns and so on involved, people able to run off and drive by and things like that. Yeah. Okay.
But still, to add to that, we have to learn how to talk things out, how to walk away. Every time something like that comes, it's the same thing. That one gets angry and they were not able to calm down, or no one was able to intervene. And by the time that, like, what's happening in our society? What have we become? And it's sad, actually. It's really, really sad.
And I think that this is something we need to kind of make up on, although you don't quite know exactly how you're going to respond, because that does happen. You think you respond in a particular way. But I think, let me just get your take on that. I think it's something we all need to think about in advance. How would I react in a situation where my life is being threatened at that particular point in time? Do I walk away? Do I argue? This sort of thing. Don't you think it's wise to think about those things first and think about how you would like to react if and when a situation does arise in your life, in your personal life?
I think it's important that we think, especially now in the climate that we are now, it's important that we think about it, because we just never know. You might be going about your business You know, you might not know the person coming up to you. You might have just stepped on the person's foot, and the person gets angry. Maybe they're dealing with something else, and they're like, "Why?" And it gets heated, and you're like, "No, I'm so sorry," and the person just gone already, and it escalates. How do you deal with a situation like that? We've seen situations like that even happen in our society where someone gets hurt by just a simple bump. I just passed by you. I'm so sorry. But the person just got so angry because they figure you invaded their personal space. So it's important that we think about it, and it's important even those around us. When we see things happening, instinctively of late, people just grab their phones. They do not know what's going on. They hear maybe an argument or something, and they're recording. And some people, actually say, "Come on, fight, fight, fight." You hear that in videos of late. And it's gone out of days where individuals will say, "Hey, what are you doing? Stop." People just sit by and figure, that ain't nothing. They're going to calm down on their own.
Kina, that's a very good point that you're making. Because sometimes I watch certain videos, and I say to myself, but how did the person know how this thing is going to end up? How did they know that to start recording? But you that's what you're saying. You're saying that they already sense something is going to happen, so they take their phone already. Yeah, there's a video, a very short video. Some guy looks like he has a rock or something, and he's about to throw it. And then while he's about to throw it, the rock falls behind his head or something like that. And then of course he's already in motion, so he went like, but it fell. And he just ran the rest of the way because he was already in motion.
Right.
Some say, but how did the person know that this guy was about to do something like that?
Yeah.
But you're right. I guess maybe something must have been happening. And then now, as you said, people just take their phone right away.
People go for their phone so quickly nowadays. An accident, phone. A fight, a phone. An argument, a phone. Like, come on.
Now, in terms of your question with the altercation, right? What happens and so on. And Andre, talk. Kina, since you went there, let me go there. You step on the person's toe accidentally. Hey, sorry. And the person, there's a lot of anger in us too. I don't know where that comes from. But I tell you sorry. Right away, you ain't continue to be humble, But I tell you sorry already. So what you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Oh yes, that happens a lot.
That's our problem. I tell you sorry already, and it happens to me. I've been apologetic, so I watch and you just continue. That's just incredible that this came up. Just this morning I thought of that. I witnessed this with our partner, the senator. I am walking towards his vehicle. Had no idea that was him. I ain't gonna lie. He pulled up a certain place, and somebody was behind him wanting to go inside that same place that he pulled up. So there was not enough space for that vehicle to pass. And so the person started making that kind of scene. You so and so and so and so and so. You park right there. You ain't leave room for nobody else to pass. And so Senator tried to be calm, cool, collected.
He didn't roll on him.
He didn't roll on him. So Senator said, hey, but I have a disability. You see, you must have one too, man.
Oh my God.
Ouch. I wasn't ready for that.
Well, I tell you. So you see, again, Andre, for me, a lot of times, if you come and I tell myself, preparation, you're so right. I prepare my mind that stuff like that will happen. And I tell myself, just say, hey, okay, no problem. Chill, man. Don't worry. Don't think nothing, man. Don't think nothing. Sometimes I laugh with you, and I laugh, hoping that you laugh with me and just calm as well. Yeah. It's maybe becoming an adult, and as you rightly say, prepare your mind because things will happen.
Definitely.
And sometimes some people do bump into you and it's very painful.
Oh, yes.
So when that time you turn like, boy.
Yes.
And you feel like everything, you just want to just race.
Yes.
And you have to control it.
I think a lady told me one time she was at this club and a lady passed next to her and stepped on her and with her stilettos. And she said, Andre, I am in pain.
And you just want to push back.
Yes, it's painful. And the worst thing when the person doesn't say, sorry, I'm sorry.
And
I mean, sorry doesn't cure it. But at least it helps to show that
it was not on purpose, and you feel for the person.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And it also, a certain sense of humility exudes from you now, right, for causing the person the pain that they did not cause, right? They didn't do anything to cause you to want to give pain to them, right?
But even with the individual doing it, sometimes they don't even know they just stepped on somebody's foot.
Right.
They don't know.
Okay.
They don't know as well.
But if the person says to you, hey, you just stepped on my foot.
Just apologize.
Just apologize right away.
Yeah.
And ask them, okay, is there some way I can make restitution for what happened? Can I buy you a drink or something like that? Just show this level of humility. But we wrong and we right.
Yeah.
If you understand what I'm saying. Yeah. Because right now I'm going through something kind of similar. With my incident there with my vehicle, yeah, I'm going through something very similar. And I find that the person who has brought pain to my life, certain level of discomfort and unease, and I'm looking for other words to describe it. Unease, stress, a little depression kind of thing, and for the person to just stay away.
Show no empathy.
Yeah, no
They're
empathy, no sympathy, nothing. Like it doesn't matter what they have caused and brought upon you. All the inconvenience. Even, I often speak about where somebody will take a life of somebody else, and then you, the family, now you are saddled with the inconvenience of having to go and organize autopsy, going to and fro at a hospital, transportation costs, especially if you don't have your own vehicle. Okay, now you have to go and bury this person. It's going to cost you money to buy a coffin and to, you go through a lot of hurt and pain and stress.
And in that period of time too, Andre and Tony, that person might just have a mental breakdown.
Exactly.
And they do something crazy.
Exactly. Because I think
in that period of time.
I think in the one of the interviews this morning, that same story, one of the person says, as long as there's pain and suffering, there will be more pain and suffering. And I think I understand where he's coming from. The guy, I think that's his brother, the victim's brother, saying that as long as there's pain and suffering, there'll continue to be pain and suffering. In other words, now, if he doesn't control himself, he may just do something which may be outside the parameters of what the law would allow, because you're angry or you're hurting. So I'm just saying that when these things happen, you need to be man enough or woman enough to come and say, listen, I know I created a problem for you, so I'd like to apologize and to ask you if there's anything I can do to ease your stress.
Or just check on me.
Oh, but they don't do that
just
at
call
all,
and
man.
check. Hey, how are you doing? I may not have the finances to assist you right now, but I'm sorry. I'm just checking in to see how you're doing. Nothing.
You know the amount of people who've had accidents, who have been the cause of somebody's significant other, somebody's relative, somebody's child, mother, whatever the case may be, have caused that person to lose that individual, and they have never turned back to say, I'm calling to say I'm sorry. Can I come to your home? Can I come to your home to talk to you? Something
it can
like
be guilt driven. I've done something. Someone lost their life. How do I face that family? But that's where, if you are that person's friend or relative who's caused pain onto someone else, you tell them, hey, have you contacted that family? Maybe you should. I'll support you. Let's go together. Because they might be going through and dealing with their own guilt of having caused that accident and that person losing their life and not even knowing what to do, still trying to figure it out and deal with that pain themselves.
Well, that's why we're telling them what to do right now. So you remember the time, without going into details, somebody we knew, right, had gone through a traumatic experience. Tony, myself, right? We knew the person. And the person was actually hospitalized. Do you remember what I'm talking about away?
That came to mind while she was
right?
talking, yeah.
Okay, the person was hospitalized. And Tony and myself, we spoke. We said, you know something? Let us go see the individual. Let's go check on him, because he was hurting. He was hurting and he ended up at the hospital. Looked like he had a nervous breakdown. Something. He was really going through for a rough time. Now, on our way to the hospital, somebody just said me, let me just check first to find out if it's okay. We go check that guy.
With a relative.
Yeah. And we called the relative. And right there, the relative said, Andre, don't go. Don't
Timing
go.
Is
Timing
off.
is just off.
Forget it.
Don't go. Right? So, again, wisdom has to be used. It's a good thing we checked. Because the person's family were angry. Very, very angry at that time there.
Yeah.
Even if we were not the ones directly involved in what took place.
Right.
The fact that the person that did it is maybe a friend of ours, a relative, whatever the case may be, right? At that moment there, it wasn't a good time. So I'm saying, in situations like that where you take somebody's life, yes, it's true, at the moment you're going for a rough time. Yes, I understand that. But at some point, man, it could be 6 months, a year, whatever. You reach out to that family or to the person who's most affected and say, listen, I'm so-and-so, this is what happened, and I'd like to know whether we can talk.
Get a pastor involved if you can't.
Well, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
I want to know whether we can talk.
Mm-hmm.
And if the person says to you, "Listen, stay away from me," I have nothing to, that's a separate. But at least you tried.
Yes,
But to just ignore the person, knowing you have caused, you have brought a lot of pain and hurt on that individual, and you just living your life like it's no big deal. You're just going about your business like it doesn't matter to you. And that, while that person is still hurting, and that person now has to come and deal with their hurt now by themselves, and then now to forgive you. Because that's what the psychologists tell you. You have to now forgive yourself, forgive the person. Otherwise, if you don't do that, you can't move on.
Yeah.
So now you have to forgive yourself for something you didn't cause. Forgive the person for something they caused. Boy, that is rough.
It's
that is
tough.
rough.
You
That's
think
rough.
you think the family has forgiven the guy who shot Megan Thee Stallion?
Take it away,
Take it
Kino.
away.
Take it away, Kino.
We only have a couple of minutes.
Oh my gosh. There's so much controversy as it relates to Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez. First of all, if we have to go back to the court case, they were saying that, hey, his fingerprints were never on the gun. Pretty much. But he was there. There was some kind of
That's yours?
No.
Well, she probably did.
that's for me. That's for me.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's for me. So they're also saying that there was some sort of confusion between Megan Thee Stallion and a friend of ours, and
One second.
Tony.
Tell me what to do with this.
Just put it on the side.
Okay.
And Tory Lanez tried to quell the situation, right? And he got involved, and they're also saying that he wasn't the one who pulled the trigger, but took the fall for it.
He took the fall.
Pretty much. You need to go back and check the court case and everything of that
So
sort.
you're going to
and whatnot,
say,
what have
you believe that? The
No,
guy-
there's a lot that happened with that
hold on,
case.
Hold
What?
on. You try and tell me a guy, I'm not saying things don't happen. You're willing to go to jail for 10 years of your life.
Something you did
Something
not
you didn't do?
Well, do you know what Tory Lanez should have done? He should have testified, but he chose not to testify, right? And
OJ didn't testify.
well, you all know what happened with OJ.
No, I'm just saying that's
it's-
your right. It's your right.
It is your right, but Tory Lanez chose not to testify. Of late, over the last couple of weeks, months, he's been coming out and saying, hey, but he's been doing it subtly from the time that incident happened to say, I didn't do that, and giving hints online. But nobody really believed him. Even Megan Thee Stallion, she had an interview with, I can't remember the name of the person, and maybe months later she came out and she said that during that interview she lied.
Now it's interesting, Tony. This morning I'm finding out from reading the story that Megan and this guy they used to date.
I figured
Yeah,
because
they used to date.
Well, she
because
only
he shot her.
She only said, well, Tory Lanez never confirmed it, but Megan Thee Stallion, when asked during the interview, she said no, they never dated. But when pressed months later, she says, oh, on drunken nights we would just be intimate, and that's it. But how that whole thing turned out, it was because Tory Lanez, Megan Thee Stallion found out that Tory Lanez was actually dating Megan's friend. And that's where that argument started in that vehicle with Megan Thee Stallion and this other woman.
Well, what I read this morning, again, sorry, is that they were arguing about one of their sexual encounters. That's what they were arguing
Well,
about.
it was the girl that Megan found out that was, intimate with Tory Lanez, and she got angry.
Hell have no fury. Hell have no fury. Boy.
But he was stabbed 14 times.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
What?
7 in his back.
I'm
a few
surprised
times
he
in his
actually
torso,
survived that.
Right.
Once in his face and so on. Yeah.
I'm surprised he actually survived. Now, when I read the story this morning, no mention as to what happened to the perpetrator. That
Right.
wasn't mentioned. But
Right.
they're investigating, and I think his lawyers are appealing the 10-year prison
Yeah, they have
sentence.
been appealing it, and he has been speaking up of late and doing interviews, saying that, hey, something happened during that trial, and I wasn't part of it. And his lawyer did come out and say again that Tory Lanez's fingerprints was not on that magazine. It was not there. So
Maybe-
who pulled the trigger?
Maybe he was wearing gloves.
If it doesn't fit, you gotta quit.
You gotta quit. All right.
Maybe he was wearing gloves.
And just quickly, Smokey Robinson is now found himself some hot water.
Imagine that, Andre.
Smokey
At his
Robinson.
age.
What?
How old is he now? 80 something?
About 80-ish.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Imagine
Yeah.
you can't even walk no more. You can't. I don't even
Bill
know,
Cosby,
like-
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Old and all of that stuff
man.
came up, and it's
And,
like,
and notice, Tony, is the helpers in the house.
yeah,
I think about 4 of them.
yeah.
And they said that the wife, whenever the wife was out, that's when he'd mess with them.
when the cat's away.
Mice will
The
play.
mice will play.
Yeah, so at that age there, boy, so he says he's going to release some statements soon. I'm waiting to hear what he has to say.
He released a statement saying he had no part in it, and he's so sad. It's wild. Whatever. Anyways, innocent until proven guilty. Let me not go at the man, but I'm just tired of hearing stories like this.
Yeah.
Every now and then. Recently, Shannon Sharp, now PDD.
Yes.
Bill Cosby, Harvey Weinstein.
There are a whole bunch of them. There are a whole
it's
bunch
one
of
too
fellas.
many. It's one too
Yeah,
many.
and I guess that's the danger, Tony, and Keen, about being extremely wealthy. You don't work on your character.
Yeah.
You don't work on your behavior, and you have power,
Yeah.
and you have influence, and you have wealth. Oh my gosh,
So-
boy, that's a lethal combination.
Yeah,
you
you
think-
figure you could take over the world and you could have anything.
Yeah, the bad
It's
boy.
still, that's what
Anything.
I was waiting to say. You could have whatever you like.
Yes, yes.
You know what I mean?
All right. Okay. Well, we wish him all the best.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Smokey
real.
Robinson. Okay, Kina, take it away. Time for the shout outs.
Okay, shout outs. Let's do the WhatsApp platform first. Gonna get that now. Did I just sing? I'm playing. So on the WhatsApp platform, Tony, you want to read?
If you give it to me, I will.
Sure, there you are.
Pass it on. Mine gone.
So no Facebook today?
We will do it. Maybe we will get it from
Yeah,
from
but
yours.
we'll not get all the comments
Oh,
because you
gosh.
started from the beginning. I would maybe have just logged on,
Oh,
so it will just give me a few of them.
So what happened to your computer, Tony?
die.
Battery. Where's the thing?
Andre, I imagine it downstairs. Wee boy, just again things to do, and you know what I mean. So I forgot to charge it. I'm coming up here in a hurry. Forgot to walk with the charger, and all of a sudden it just went black.
You saw his facial expression, right?
I don't know if you saw that. You
So once you reconnect it, Tony, there's power going in there. What happens?
it will come on.
It will come on. So if
So if
Emmanuel
somebody
is
get my
listening,
charger-
can you bring the
Emmanuel,
charger
if you can
over
get
to
my
me?
charger, boy, I'd appreciate that very, very much. Be careful though. It is plugged into the back, at the back of my desk. That's one. And it is on, meaning the switch is on. So maybe take the switch off before you unplug it, whatever, and then we'll get it. While we delay, hopefully you hear it and you bring the charger. All right, opening up. I don't know how to operate your thing up. Maybe
There you are.
What you? It's
I
like
made it
that.
easier for you.
Uh-huh. Okay. That ain't never true. All right, so we start from the very beginning at 10 after 10 o'clock. Right, 10:05. There's the first one that we have. Let's open it up and see what it says. It says, blessings, morning, Rev-Up fam. Be blessed, everyone. Mwah.
Mwah. Right back.
Right. Now, this other one reads, greetings to Andre, Tony, and Lady Kina. Happy to be listening to the hard drive every day. Feel better, Kiki. Sending
you.
more love to my friends from Choiseul, Mary Alexander of Bellevue, and Linda Jean-Baptiste of Reunion. Keep on listening to your favorite radio station. Blessings from Tekla Auger of Vieux-Fort. Andre, that was the one who sent the greetings to the two folks. She says that are always listening.
Okay.
All right, in Choiseul. That's Mary Alexander of Bellevue and also Linda Jean-Baptiste. Thank you so much for that, Tekla L. All right, Sylvester the Weatherman. He says, good morning, Rev-Up family. I passed by a shop in Marchand, Jenny's place. She was listening and really enjoying you guys. I got her permission so you can give her a big shout out.
Hi,
Let's give
Jenny.
Jenny a shout out.
Good morning.
Jenny's place.
Thanks for
Good morning,
listening.
Jenny. Yes,
Kisses.
yes. Thank you so much.
Mwah.
And keep listening.
Yeah, man. We really do appreciate it. All right. All right. Now, this person says, Andre, stew is a meat dish cooked in water over low heat. The oil in stew is to saute the onions, garlic. Now, that is true as well. To saute the onions and the garlic and ting and ring,
Ça passe au
ting.
dia? Yes, Patricia.
No, yeah, that happens. That's also
Yeah, what
part
the
of
person
it.
is saying is part of it. What you said is something different.
Yes, which
I'm just
is
playing with you.
okay. I don't know what happened this morning. I take everything everybody says serious, you know.
It happens
The
sometimes.
accountant, our accountant, called me up and he gave me some story, Andre, that it's like somebody was saying on another radio station something or the other. Andre, I started asking the man what station, and I started questioning the man. You know what I mean? So I know. And then he came again, drop another joke, and I'm like, so I don't know. This Tuesday morning have me serious.
Yeah, you maybe need more sleep.
Oh, maybe.
Let me read something quickly. This is from our friend Mauricia. She says, give a shout out to the bus drivers on the Babano bus route 1B, especially bus driver M638. I traveled on his bus this morning and he was tuning to Rev-Up. I was able to listen to the news as a passenger.
All right.
Oh,
Nice.
So good morning
Good
to
morning.
Bus driver M638.
M638.
Yes, the Babano bus route 1B.
All
Okay,
right.
thank you
Good
very much
morning.
for listening.
Hello.
Thanks. We really do
M638.
appreciate it. By the way, it was Julian Cauldron who sent this, Andrea, our partner bull.
Yes. What did he say?
So he said about the spices to saute the onion and stew and ting and the spices. And he said there are two types of frying: deep fry and shallow frying. That's true too. All right.
So what's the difference?
The deep
curious.
fry,
Mhm.
I love a deep fry. I ain't gonna lie. Where it's loaded, like you have your deep fryers.
That's like the KFC, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
It's
Mm.
loaded with oil, and all the chicken goes in, and it like the oil covers the chicken. So the chicken
Saturates it.
is saturated, so it's in there cooking. You know, that's a deep fry.
Yeah.
And the shallow fry is like what maybe we do at home, where you know you put your oil and you
Just a
fry
little
and
bit
you
of
turn
oil
it.
in there and you just
Right, you
have
just turn it when it's brown on one side. You know, yeah, man. Oh, good.
There you go, boy.
All right, who else? Let me see. To me, we look at that one already, Lord.
Which one?
Maybe you looked at it. Let me see. Bonjour.
Josie Ann
lovely
said something, but you
Andre,
didn't read
Tony.
it.
I'm
It was lower down.
I'm still waiting to hear how y'all love my shop, Miss Martha's shop. Oh, okay, Miss Martha's shop. Isn't that the same shop that we ask you? You ask a few
In
questions, Andre,
Monrico?
about
Yeah, what is it?
shout out. Right.
She never responded, actually.
Yes. So that's it, Martha. You've never responded. That's the thing. All right. Now, Strange, thanks for accepting my call. Maybe he had somebody type this, because I know he says he has these eyesight problems and so on. And if he had somebody to type it, well, or if you did it on your own, good for you. Tony, have you been to Sweets in Antigua? I lived in Antigua. I've been everywhere. Yeah, Sweets, all the other places. I've been there. Yeah, man. So that's that. Moving right along. When did this one come in, Gina? Which is Iphigenia. The call, squirting is real. Well, she said all of
That's
that, I
this morning.
suppose. Yeah. All right. Let me see.
But what is what you're quoting?
I am with Tony. Okay, so that means, right, she was listening to us. I am with Tony on this one, Andre. It was something that was taught to us. In early dating, it's important to not share too much. You need to build trust gradually. Sharing deep, vulnerable parts of yourself, like past trauma, can make you feel exposed. And not everyone you date will have the emotional maturity or empathy to respond with care. Sadly, some people do use sensitive information as leverage later. Gina, for me, well written. Wow. That was, wow.
I see Keena looking at me there. Well, of course, we don't agree with that at
No,
all.
I
We don't
don't
agree with that
agree.
at
And
all.
I was watching
Well,
the-
I understand. I understand what she's
but
saying.
I don't agree.
Yes, but I think that there's certain things you need to let your potential mate know about you. Certain things are, and if the person chooses to leave, they're free to leave. Let them leave. In fact, that saves you stress. Yeah, it saves you stress in the final analysis. You don't have to. It's that person obviously is not ready for what you bring to the table.
They're not either mature enough, or even when they are mature, this is not what I want to deal with.
Exactly.
And they're free to make that
They're free to
choice.
make that choice, and they can leave.
Good morning. Related, that's why I just went right to it.
Okay.
If a lady tells me she never got there with her ex, I would be happy to stick around to try with her.
Yes, I.
And the person says, I'm trying to understand Andre's point of view. It's understandable. I ain't lying, it's understandable. Don't get me wrong. Again, I kept saying it. I was playing devil's advocate. I was looking at all different aspects of the whole thing. And the person says, but if the person that did the crime don't want to go in jail, they will not visit the family. Doing this is like confessing to murder. Okay, yeah, slightly different to I think what we were saying.
What is
Yeah.
your understanding?
The harm that you may have caused someone.
Mm-hmm.
For example, maybe kill the person, whether accidentally or maybe in defending yourself. Go to the family and say you're sorry and all of that. That's what the person is chiming in on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
I'm
what
trying
is
to
it?
understand. I'll read it again now that you heard what I said. I'm trying to understand Andre's point of view. But if the person that did the crime don't want to go to jail, I understand, that will not visit, or they will not visit the family. Doing this is like confessing to the crime, to murder.
Well, you still have to live with the guilt whether you go or not.
No, but what I'm saying, Tony, is that okay, you could choose to lie about it. Yeah, that's your choice. Okay, you can choose to lie, or you can be a man or a woman and accept responsibility for what you've done. So if you do not accept responsibility, you know you did what you did there because of your carelessness, your recklessness, etc., and you want to get off. That's a separate matter that you can choose to do that. But there's some people, Tony, who are just mature enough to say, I'm wrong, I accept responsibility for what I did. So I'm talking about those kinds of people, not people that want to escape with murder. And that's what I'm talking about. I hope they understand what I was saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe now they do.
Because there are people who do not want to accept responsibility. They will try to, as the person said, to get off the hook, knowing you've done something wrong, right? But you can choose to do the right thing, and it's going to be to your benefit in the final analysis. Is when you cover up, right? I think even the Bible says when we cover up our sins, we will not prosper. I don't know if you guys ever heard that. Yeah, we won't do well. We just won't do well in life. So it's best you own up to what you've done, and even if you don't go and apologize at the moment, I'm saying give it some time, but don't just carry on with your life as though it doesn't matter. Tony, I know people who've been victims of those things, and the people up to now are hurting. As a matter of fact, the system has even failed those people because the system now leaves you alone. You're there to carry the weight of this hurt and pain and this tremendous loss to you. And the system is you ever heard the saying, the system lets so and so down? You ever heard that?
Yeah. All
Many
the time.
times.
It happens. Look at the situation with the young man that got they found him dead in a cell. I think I don't want to say where it happened. I don't remember. I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Right.
Okay. The boy's father has died trying to get justice. The coroner's report said that the boy was killed. And up to now, that family cannot get justice. The father died. Now you have the mother that's still pleading for justice. There's so many of those things out there.
That's right.
Why? Because we don't want to own up to our wrongs, the thing that we have caused and done to some innocent party. Okay, fine, no problem. Yeah, but you won't prosper.
So
There was one more.
just two more. Josiane says, good morning, Rev-Up family. A blessed day to all. Sharon Peter says, good morning, Rev-Up. And someone actually said where the incident happened. That's about it.
You mean the Timon? The Timon issue?
No. What you were just talking about where the guy died in prison.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. It's no secret.
Miku
Miku. Okay.
Station.
Yeah, it's no secret.
Yeah. So thank you for that.
Miku Police Station.
Yeah.
Why am I thinking Denry?
I thought it was that. That's why I didn't say it.
Denry.
It was-
Yeah, but it's Miku.
wasn't.
It's
It
Miku.
was Miku.
It's Miku for sure.
Really?
Mhm.
Yeah, it was Miku.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And the coroner's inquest said that the guy was killed.
Okay. Well,
That's
yeah.
what he said.
Yeah.
And the system is so set up. It's set up a kind of way that you have to fight for justice. And the system should be protecting the victim. As I told you right now, I'm going through my stuff. And I'm seeing the way the system is set up. Right? You're the one that's been inconvenienced. You're the one who have to go now and spend money you didn't even plan to spend. And the people just continue their life like it's normal.
Someone
And
said Shaka then Daniel.
Yeah, that's his right.
Yeah, that's the name.
That's his
That's the
name.
name, yeah. All right, so we go to the Facebook page and see who is checking in. And we say good morning and welcome to Dakota McGuire Cleveland Seeley. For a long time in the competition, Dakota was always third. These days, she is first.
Number one.
That's right.
Dakota.
Number one.
Dakota, good morning to you. Hope all is well.
All right.
Very nice lady.
Yeah, man. Followed by Pius Snappy Yeah, man, who says good morning.
Yeah, man, pious.
And then Elvin J. Team Workers with the eyes. The eyes have it. The eyes have it. Jan Blast Warner, good morning to you. She says, good day to my favorite people, the lovely Keena, my sweetheart Tony, and the unbelievable Andre.
Hey, unbelievable.
And she continues, Tony, I love your shirt. Keep rocking.
His facial expression and
Yeah, man, I'm going to
the
start burning them these days. You know what I mean? We're on
go, boy.
DBS and we're on, you know what I mean? I'm going to bring out the shirts and bring out the threads, like I said yesterday, you know? All right, so anyway, thank you, Jan. I appreciate it very, very much. Nancy Graceland says, Keena, it's allegedly, am I sure? Allergy. All right, Keena, it's,
Allergy
allegedly.
season?
Yes, it's allergy season. Maybe you have allergies.
It's not allergies. I'm using Claritin and everything else. It's not working.
Take some Benadryl.
It's not working.
Jan came back and says, good day, cuz Lucita Jean-Pierre. Christine Shallery says, blessed day to you all. Lucita Jean-Pierre says, good morning, Jerome, my buddy, Andre, and beautiful Keena. Looks like Keena is going through welcome to the early club. All these symptoms, women. Maybe you'll figure it out.
Menopause?
Oh, yes, indeed.
Maybe.
John E. Tom says, blessed good morning to the Rev-Up family. Thank you, Johnny. Lucita came back and says, good morning, everyone on live Radio Garden. Share the link. We love you, Lucita. We love you indeed. Barbara Augustin, good morning, Barbara. Barbara says, good morning, my favorite brothers and Keena. Always a pleasure listening to Rev-Up. There was a beautiful, lovely day yesterday. Nice. It rained. Lilia Victor, good morning, Lilia. Lilia says, good morning, everyone. Peacemaker says, good morning, my three handsome, beautiful boy and girl. Wow. Okay,
Hi,
good.
Peacemaker.
And Peacemaker says, blessed Tuesday to you, my loving people. Kiki, wee mama. Lucita Jean-Pierre says, good morning, cuz Jan. Just responding to Jan Blaswana. Lucita says, good morning, Peacemaker. How are you? Peacemaker responds, saying, good morning to everyone who is watching and listening to our favorite people. Yes, joy comes in the morning. When it's nice, my two sons laugh loud. Thank you very much. Jan says, Tony, we are the same. Okay, we are the same. Once Manu playing, I watched to the end. It's team, no sleep other than I can sleep morning, noon, or night. Nothing interfere with my sleep. So you're a sleeper. You can sleep. I have a problem, girl. Joan Shallery says, good morning, Andre, Tony, and Keena, and chat room lovers. Hot. That's what she's sending out there, Joan Shallery. Lucita, Jerome, admit you aging and you love the gog.
No way.
Oh, gosh. Yes. On both counts, yes. Pearl Food Baby
Guilty.
Henry. I plead guilty. Happy Tuesday, Rev-Up St. Lucia family and all in the chat room. Peacemaker says, I love you, Tony, Andre, and sexy laugh, Keena. Kiki, that's why you need a man friend, a doo-doo darling. Peacemaker again, I love to see you three laugh. Joyful, so interesting. I'm laughing with you three. I'm in the middle. Clara Sammy says, good morning, bonjour, bel jour, Rev-Up family. Have a wonderful Tuesday. Thank you, Clara Sammy. Saw Darren on Sunday, took a pic with him. As I said, yesterday I said that. He was at the bar, the
Chairman's?
Yeah, the Chairman's bar, you know. It was just so good to see him, honestly. All right, Jan Blaswana says, we were told that frogs are deadly and don't trust them around your home. People throw salt, bleach, or alkaline on them and something they just hop away. That's a scary part. Well, I ain't going near any from whatsoever, meaning the frogs.
The frogs.
Yeah, some people are just petrified of frogs, man. All right, Alexandrine Lisa says, good morning, Rev-Up family. Blessed Tuesday to all. Thank you, Alexandrine. We appreciate it. Jan says, good morning, Mama Clara. All right, who else? Pearl Food Baby came back, says, stew has oil and brown sugar for color, so it's called stew. Blast Warner, Jan says, Andre, are you infirm in the kitchen? Don't know what is stew, frying, or bake? Tony, give him some cooking lessons,
Andre is
please.
a dishwasher. Haven't you heard?
Yeah.
He doesn't cook.
That's my forte.
An expert dishwasher, and of course, the greatest food warmer.
Oh, you know?
Food warmer, yeah.
Oh,
He
yeah.
doesn't
Oh,
cook.
yeah.
Andre don't cook.
Lot Cote. Lot Cote says, big up to Rev-Up St. Lucia, my all-time favorite radio station. Oh, thank you so much for that.
you.
Clara came back and just says, good morning, Mama Jan. Jan says, good morning, darling. Martha Shaw, pleasant day, Andre, Mr. Tony, and lovely Kina. Blessed
morning,
love.
Martha.
Fantastic day, everyone.
Morning, Martha
Good
Shaw.
morning, Martha.
Mm-hmm.
Andre, you need cooking lessons, so it seems. That's
No.
from Jan Blaswater.
No.
Andre wants to continue washing dishes.
That's right. And warming food.
Yeah, sweeping the
He's
floor,
fine.
mopping the floor, those kinds of things.
Oh,
Yeah.
you do that
Yeah.
right now at home?
And making the bed.
So you do that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Since when?
All right. Peacemaker says, yes, Chef Andre. Sharon says, happy Tuesday, all.
Happy Tuesday, Sharon.
Tuesday, Sharon.
And Clarence Sammy says, those two backs usually have color in it. It doesn't have the color. It's not. All right. If it doesn't have the color, it's not stew backs.
What would it be?
What would it be? Masala?
Backs and glow?
I like this name, Oreo Cockfred.
What?
Is it maybe Jules? Julezz.
Fred Jules?
Yeah, Cockfred, man. I enjoy,
That individual is new. I
and
think that's the first. Well,
he or whoever I enjoys masturbating.
okay, TMI. Okay.
TMI?
Too much information.
Too much information. Yeah, okay. Peacemaker says, hey, we mama, do your work, man. That's how some women love it. Bang, bang, bang. So some men just go bang, bang, and done. Moving right along. Oreo, Cockfred, masturbating is not a problem. Jan Blaswana, Tony, you are something else. Whatever it takes, you do it. So I is. Oreo, Cockfred, we call it jock. You see you.
Oreo,
You see you.
Cockfred, whoever you are.
That's your last
kinda
dance, buddy.
Take a pause. Take a pause.
All right, I'm on Tony's side with which comes first in the interview. Andre would twap puese. Clara Sammy says, you see how relationships are being destroyed just for 10 minutes? Whoa.
10 minutes?
Yes, 10 minutes.
10 minutes of your life every single day or every week.
Roma Edmond. Hi, Roma. Good morning. Good morning,
Hello,
Tony.
Roma.
I
Hi,
love
Roma.
the shirt. Did I read that? Oh, that's another one again.
No, that's another one.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Love the shirt. Wow.
We have 5 minutes only.
I should wear it more often. I think we're almost there, though. All right, Roma, right? She says, right, I love that shirt. Nice, right. Jan says, yeah. Peacemaker, oh, yeah, Andre, you got to put things on the table step by step. Don't wait at the last moment to bring clarity, honesty. Always ask questions. Look for red flags. I'm so happy with my COVID-19 husband that thank God for COVID-19.
Aww.
Peacemaker says, hey, Andre, you have an ex? Jan says, Andre have had plenty exes. Haha, trust me. Septima Joseph says, good morning. She Chub checks in now. Exes upon exes. Maybe for Andre. Patricia Benjamin
responding to
says,
something.
yeah, Patricia Benjamin says, morning, Rev-Up family. Have a great day. Thank you, Patricia. Oreo Cockfred, let me see. Never happened. That's the same one I said that was the last dance, right? Okay. Jan says, Andre must have gone through the worst. Poor job for him. Nancy Grayson, I think what Tony is trying to say is that you don't divulge too much information until the relationship is at a certain stage. You got that right, my dear. Peacemaker, Kina, you know a lot. Always be honest. It's up to the person to stay or go. Whatever is for you will be for you. If the person really loves you and there is a chemistry, or if you two are compatible, it will work.
Let me ask you a question, Tony.
I have 3 minutes.
No, on that thing, let me ask you. Let's just assume you meet a lady, and the lady has Christian principles,
Yeah.
and she doesn't tell you that she doesn't believe in marriage before sex. Do you think she should say that to you? And that's not a matter of life and death,
No,
huh?
not necessarily, because I may have sex before marriage.
Right, but
I just may have the power.
Yeah,
to do
but
it.
she
And
doesn't want to do it with you. Not until you all get married.
And she said,
And she doesn't say
you
that.
want her to say,
And she keeps that away from you.
but that's what I'm saying.
Right.
She can keep it here.
So
okay.
you wait for 5 years, 6 years for her?
No. Well, listen to what I'm saying. She doesn't tell me that, but she just engaged to me. Hey, goodbye.
Oh, so aren't you happy she said to you before?
No, she ain't said it to me before.
But I'm saying to you, you're talking, right? During the interview, and she says to you, I have certain principles, certain Christian principles. I do not want to have sex before marriage.
If she says that to me, according to you, during the interview,
I'll
go goodbye.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I don't want to lose, in a sense. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want to lose that.
So-
or I might just keep trying. I might, again, I said it before, let me say it again. I might be the one to change her mind.
but
the point.
Change her mindset.
Right.
Is
No,
that
but
she
still.
lets you know before.
Before. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There's certain things, right, that could impact the relationship. You have to say.
All right, let's try to. Catherine McPhee, good morning, Rev-Up
morning,
family.
Catherine.
Blessings and best wishes from Mark. Oh, hey, Mark. Yes, we appreciate that. Problem. All right, you can't think. Eliminate the problem. All right, peacemaker. When I'm upset, I'm blind. I can't see without my I can't see white or black. Right. Any port for a storm. With me, I see. I don't see. Hear. I don't hear. Basically saying, when you see you're pissed off, Andre,
It's over.
it's a wrap. All right, too much information on the beginning of a relationship can be a turn off. Give me a chance to figure out if I like you or not.
TMI.
Then gradually, you can start telling me things about yourself. All right, Peacemaker says, that's why I didn't jump on a crowded bus. I let it go and wait for another. You have no idea what people are capable of doing. Siobhan Matthew, good morning, Siobhan. Andre
Good morning,
in red today.
You should have seen earlier at 9 o'clock.
I
Yeah.
tell you. Since 2 weeks ago. And Martha Shop says, oh, yes, I did. Oh, since 2 weeks ago. Quickly, 2 more to go. I was not on last week and dealt with the Mother's Day week program. It still hurts me badly. That's why I was not on Kina's Thanksgiving, thanks acting for yesterday on the program. Tony, you're hot. You're too hot. You're not easy. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah. All right, so bang on time, 11:30.
Also want to say good morning to Albert. He was visiting St. Lucia. I met him at the mall, Sunny Acres, right there, Gibbons Mall, and he says hi to Andre and to Tony Paul. So
Okay.
hi.
Albert
Good
who?
morning, Albert. I can't remember his surname.
Albert Kibis?
He just says he listens all the time too.
I wonder if
of
it's
the
Albert
program.
Kibis.
I don't know.
You don't know Albert Kibis?
No. I was going about my business. What happened was I was walking through the pharmacy and I just heard Kina and I turned looking for
What he looks like?
tall, dark.
Albert. Okay.
Okay,
Albert. Our partner
yeah.
Albert.
Yeah.
Albert Kibis.
Okay.
Okay, so we got to wrap it up. So, Kina, just quickly, what do you have coming up on the show today?
The Wanted Wonder Insights into China's pivotal meeting with Caribbean leaders that's happening this week. There's also a shout out to the Caribbean workshop for forging reliance on climate change and extreme weather. So they're having a program for that this week. The latest with PDD, Rev-Up Slu News with Andre Paul, of course, at 1 p.m. The riddle of the day that people really have gotten to love. So that's at 11:45 and much more.
Alrighty. And, Zen, I imagine is still, I just messaged him there, asked him how he's feeling, but he hasn't responded as yet. So I imagine he's still maybe under the weather. So Zen may not be on this afternoon from 3 o'clock. And 6 o'clock this evening, don't forget we have Doctor in the House. All right, I'll be there, or I'll be back here from 6 until 7 this evening for Doctor in the House with Dr. Leonard Suraj. All right. Alrighty, so Tony, thank you very much. And Kina, thank you very much. And looking forward to hearing your show later today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So those of you on Facebook,
Did you hear what I said?
yeah, those of you on Facebook, those of you on YouTube and on X, thank you very much for checking us out, and also the folks on DBS as
Yes,
well.
for sure.
And kisses, Linda and the DBS team. Mwah. Good morning.
Okay, so long everyone.
Rev-Up